what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 110. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Carl, it's been a while. How you doing, man? Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to finally be back.
Yeah.
A lot of weeks went by without talking about video games, but, is what it is.
It is
got
what
things
it is.
to do. No, I had family, problem. My
Yeah.
wife is having some, physical problems there. She's got some pain going on.
We
She's
all
getting
wish her
through it.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll probably need surgery, but, it's going to make her feel better.
Yeah.
That's
for
good.
sure. Yeah. And Burley, how are you? It's like it's been less than 24 hours since I talked to you, but
I was gonna say, it hasn't been that long since you and I talked.
right. Because of course, obviously, the morning show is back now. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I went to bed early, so for tonight and last night. Now I got to do it again because a good old time change is coming.
Yep,
And
it's coming tomorrow for you guys. Yeah, for us here in Japan, we don't change the clocks. We keep them the same all year round. But that means that next week's episode, obviously, I start the recording with you guys an hour later than usual. But that's no
The
problem.
world
for
changes
me.
around you. Yeah.
That's right. World changes around us
Yeah.
out here in Japan. Yeah, of course, we are the future here, obviously.
It was like that when I was in Arizona also. I was there on Mountain Time and they didn't change.
Arizona's Mountain Time or Pacific? I thought it was Pacific Time.
It's Mountain.
Mountain, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out there. Same with Colorado then,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking a lot of PlayStation again, as we did during the morning show during the week. So PlayStation and Sony had a lot of news this past week. We're going to be getting into the VR news.
Really, don't get too excited. It wasn't good news.
Yeah. I was going to say,
Some of it
Burley's
was
like,
good
he's
news.
like jumping up and down, man. He's like, he's giddy as a schoolboy, getting ready to talk about PlayStation. Yeah. So
Some of it is gonna be like Picard with the hand in the face. Trust me.
We're going to be talking God of War Ragnarok, as well as in our topic of the show, we're going to be talking about the big games for November, and God of War Ragnarok is one of them, obviously. We're going to be talking about of course, the modes when it comes to God of War Ragnarok. If you're playing on PS4, PS5, what kind of, frame rates and stuff, and, the specs, what you're going to be able to expect with that. And then, of course, our picks of the week, obviously, and, for example, Xbox Game Pass for this month, and of course the PlayStation Plus games as well. We'll be talking about those. But before we get into what we've been playing this past week and getting into the weekly news beat, here's a brief word about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get early access to every episode in audio and video formats, exclusive post-show content in video format when recorded, as well as watch or listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in video format on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast. where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community. And the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, I'll start. And no, Carl, I did not play Splatoon 3 this week, obviously. I thought probably in a second or two that was going to come up again. No, I started playing A Plague Tale Requiem. I'm in like chapter 4 now, and I'm really enjoying it. The characters are, the same as the last game. It's just, Hugo is Hugo, Alicia is Alicia, or Amicia, I think that's her name.
Yeah,
Amicia.
Amicia, yeah. It's just the game up until this point, and I told Burley this on the morning show as well, but the game up to this point is very similar mechanically to the first game. And the combat scheme and everything, yes, you have the slingshot for Amicia, you can use that. But now, stealthily, you can go up and stab enemies. But my pet peeve with this game right now, and Burley agrees with me, I think, because he was playing a little bit too, is you find a knife, and you go up and you stab an enemy. That's it. The knife's gone. I mean, you would think that a knife would last like at least for 4 or 5 kills before it would be dull enough that you would have to find another one, right? But no, it's like one
stuck
stab,
in the
one
enemy.
kill.
That's it.
It's stuck in the enemy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you have to go find another one.
I mean, they do that in The Last of Us, but I mean, those are makeshift like shivs. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit frustrating and all. But, and then, of course, you can counter enemies. Like, I think it's Burley. I think it's the X button. I think it is.
Yeah. And the counter system, I don't like, because I didn't find it, for my time playing, I didn't find the counter system consistent.
Yeah.
And if you know anything, I like consistency in my games. I hate when, it's worked. It worked all this time, but now it just magically stops working.
Yeah.
Because it's like the counter I found, it's like, okay, I can't rely to use counters.
Right.
So it's like,
I assume the counter
is horrible.
Is like when an enemy reaches you, right?
The enemy reaches you, and basically you don't have anything to kill him with, and so you just you like punch him and you stun him.
Okay.
But then you don't have anything to kill him with.
Yeah, so. I mean, I think that's, you remember in the first game, right? When they reach you, you're just dead. So like, I know I heard that as like people are like, oh, there's at least an option. Like you don't just die immediately. Right.
Well, basically what happens is the enemy will knock you down, and then you can get back up, and then you can counter, and then you can basically all you can really do is run away. And then hopefully try to find something else that can kill him. Usually the enemy, if they have a helmet on, obviously the slingshot doesn't really work, because the rock's going to bounce off the helmet, but it will stun. But yeah, so
just thankfully you got to just light the fires and let the good old peaceful rats do what nature needs to do.
Right. So, but I mean, the similarities,
just lick
like
them
to
into
the first
submission, right?
Right.
The similarity. Lick them into.
Okay, but the similarities to the first game, obviously, there are the urns that you can, light the fires to keep the rats away. There are the sticks that you use you light the sticks, and then you can move the stick to keep the rats away. But then, of course, if you go too long, then of course the stick, the fire, goes out, and then of course you die. So yeah, it's similar, but it's interesting. The story's interesting so far. Graphically, it's pretty similar to the first game so far. I'm enjoying it. So that's me. Carl, have you been able to play anything this past week?
I have, and I have played nothing but Persona 5 Royal.
All right.
I've made it my business to play this game. I have like 30 hours, and so
Wow. Okay.
um,
And
and I mean, if I'm playing it for 30 hours, it's a great game, and I love it. So, it is every bit as good as like people have been saying and been talking about for forever, right?
Yeah.
And it's just in so many ways, in every aspect of like the game design, right? Like visually speaking, presentation is just like incredibly beautiful. It's splashy and like artistic, right? Come to menus, but even like transitions. Like one of the things that it's this, it may sound like a small thing, but like one of my favorite things in this game is the transition from the end of a battle back into the world, back into the game. Because you have that like animation of you like walking or running, and it's like that sort of artistic look, and then it like fades right back into like where you are or where you just were in the world, and the camera sort of pans a little bit, and it just moves, just flows right back into where you were standing like in the game before the battle started. Like, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. How do you like the music?
Music also incredible. Just great soundtrack, great songs.
Yeah.
There's a variety of different type of music, but there's a lot of that sort of like jazzy, with the lyrics and stuff going on. That's really well done.
Yeah.
There's the one song that plays in like the main song that's playing in like the cafe, and I guess when you're walking around the city.
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny because like I know she's saying shapeshifter, but she says like shapeshifter, and I'm like, why? Like, isn't that like an English like normal speaking person? I assume, because like it doesn't make sense, but still, it's a great song.
Yeah, the letters R and S are difficult for Japanese people to pronounce. So
combat is like. It just feels so good. It's like snappy. Like it feels quick. The battles are never too long. Like you feel you're in control. Like you always have a good amount of options, to handle. And I love like the baton pass thing, right? Like I think that's such a cool feature of like if you get hit a weakness, right? You get to do a second attack, but attack by your character, you can pass your turn to another character, and it just leaves you with some option, like how to play around and how to do different things. And then there's the technicals that you can do, which is if you hit them with like a type of like a freeze or a burn, and then a different type of attack that has an effect that gives you an additional damage boost because they're affected by that. I mean, it's just really smart, intelligent design, When I compare, it's funny because like I play a little Soul Hackers 2, and Soul Hackers 2 is like Persona 5 Lite.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
But and I didn't play it, but like I see now, just missing a lot of what makes Persona 5 so good. Like, stylistically, it's just missing a little bit. Like music again, it's missing a little bit. Combat, like it's missing. It just feels like it's missing features. Like it doesn't, like the fact that you're okay. What I like but prefer in this game is like each of your main characters has their own persona that's unique to them.
Yeah.
So like they are, and I usually like this. Like they are reliably like a specific build, and you can customize them by giving them other things, right? Give them a couple things, but Panther's always going to have her fire magic, right? And Skull's always going to have his lightning, right? That's his element.
Yeah.
Whereas in Soul Hackers 2, like everyone just has whatever persona you assign them. It doesn't, and also the main character. Whereas in Persona 5, you have a persona, but you can also change to any persona, right, on the fly, and it makes like feel so much better than in Soul Hackers 2, where you can't just change on the fly. There is a way to change your persona like once or something. There was a thing, but it just never felt as good because like there were times in Soul Hackers 2 where like I just don't have what I need to hit the weaknesses, and now I'm not doing damage, and now I'm not getting the extra boost at the end of the round, and like I just didn't like the way that system worked. It wasn't cool. And then there's the story and the characters, and again, fantastic,
Yeah.
right? Like I think it's really well written, and I have to say, like I was wrong when I was like looking into Soul Hackers 2, and I was thinking like, oh, Persona 5 is that like Japanese high school thing, and I'm not sure that's really what I want, right? But actually, it's like fantastically written, and it just works really well, and it's really like endearing, and I appreciate the setting with these characters and the way it's written.
Yeah.
Versus like Soul Hackers 2, which it just feels like it's a generic like we're in Japan, and and that's it. Like there isn't like a lot unique feeling about it. So I guess maybe I was wrong about the Japanese high school setting. Maybe that is a classic that they go back to in so many different medium, right? It's just very common for a lot of reasons. But the whole idea, the Phantom Thieves idea, I mean, I didn't even know what that was going in. It's like when I started playing the game and I see like how it works, I'm like, this is awesome. This is really interesting. I just love this concept that like they can change people's hearts, right, by affecting something in their mind, basically their mind palace, right? Like, it's such a amazing game, and it's a lot of story, like there is, but like some of it, I wouldn't say it's like all amazing, but it's all interesting enough. Like the characters, it's never too long-winded. The characters are they always feel distinctly like interesting characters, or you're learning about them. But again, and I keep comparing to Soul Hackers 2 because that game was like trying to be this, but like the characters never felt really that interesting or unique. And then one of the big problems with that game versus this is the introduction of characters. Like this game very smartly introduces you to a character, and like organically you meet them and you get involved in their issues, and then that's sort of why it usually ends up like, oh, I'm gonna have to change someone's heart related to this new character's life or something like that. Instead of like in Soul Hackers 2 or in any other JRPG, right, where they're just like very quickly on, here's your full party, and you're never gonna get everyone ever again. And like that's the worst. Never do that if you're making a JRPG. Never ever do that. Like Persona 5, like every time there's characters I'm meeting, like I know you're gonna join my party one day. Like I know you are, but like time hasn't come yet. But like I know, and that's great. I want to meet new characters as the story goes along. I don't want like to have my final party like an hour into the game. That's
Carl, have you ever played the Danganronpa series games?
No, I haven't.
Try them, because I mean, it's very similar when it comes to the character building and all as well. I mean, yes, of course, Persona is the gold standard for that, I think, definitely. And I'm really glad that and happy that a lot of Xbox players are getting a chance to play the Persona games now. So but Danganronpa, it's good as well. So,
but those are on Game Pass too. I don't know. I'm sure
check them out.
Some of them still are.
Yeah, check them out.
But I mean, like I'm excited now. I want to play Persona 4 Golden. When that comes around.
Yeah, I played that on the Vita. I mean, it was amazing. So good stuff. Burley, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay. Well, I did finish up Gotham Knights. I finished up the story on that and some of the side content. I'm just gonna say right now we are doing a video for that soon.
Yes.
Do not spend your money. That game is not worth the price. I'll just say that right now. You'll learn why when we do the video. I picked up that Ghostbusters video game remastered. That's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun. My Twitch chat's been loving it. Nice. So I'll be finishing that up on Monday, and on personal time, been continuing on with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm on Chapter 4, and for our awesome patron Tweel, thank you for highly recommending the series and games.
Thanks Tweel.
I just got, I'm sure, one of your favorite characters, Juniper. I just got that, so I know he will know exactly what I mean.
Cool. All right. So a lot of games that we've been playing. So it's time to get on to VR. So it's time to get into the weekly news beat. PlayStation 2 release date and price was revealed, guys. So the link here is below, of course, to the IGN article. And of course, I will go ahead and get the image up here. So what do you guys think? $549 for this game, or for this piece of hardware, I should say.
For no game.
For no games, yeah. And like you were saying, Carl, it's like
That's a lot of deers.
Half-Life Alyx is not a part of the lineup here. Yeah, I mean it's and you have to pay $600 to get the of course the downloadable, the voucher code for the Horizon game, the Call of the Mountain.
Which is that even a launch game? I feel like it isn't going to be a launch game.
I think it is going to be a launch game. It doesn't say whether it is or isn't, but I would assume that it will be.
Yeah, I feel like they're leaving that open to like, it might not be ready, so here's your voucher that you can redeem when it's ready.
Well, you guys think that price is bad? You know how much just the base is in Canada?
Mm-hmm. How much?
$749 before the tax.
That's great.
So it's going to be like with tax, with the Horizon, it's like about $1,000.
How much is a PS5 in Canada?
$629 before tax for the disc edition.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, that was before the in price. I don't know how much they are now.
And every time I hear those prices in Canada, I'm like, you guys must make a lot of money. I mean, otherwise,
no, we don't
afford these things.
Well, it's
we don't, trust me.
It's interesting how, like, with the first generation PSVR, obviously didn't have controllers or anything. It was like $400. But I mean, this thing being with controllers and stereo headphones, woo! Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be more expensive than a PS5. And I mentioned on the morning show, I did my little thought experiment of like buying a new car. The PS5 is the new car. And then of course, during the snow season, for Burley that drives in Canada in the snow, obviously getting snow tires, obviously the snow tires, I was referring to a PSVR 2, of course, and the tires being more expensive than the actual car itself. No deal. So, I mean, it's just, this is going to be, like I said, a niche market for those, wealthy people that love to pick up any kind of tech available. And for those people in the gaming media, who are going to need to have one to be able to review games with. So, I mean, this being a market for the average everyday consumer, still a ways off, thanks to the pricing here.
So the pricing, I mean, like, I would say that the price for what you're getting is probably fair if it wasn't on a PlayStation, right? On a console that's like a closed platform, right? So
you're saying, like, for example, like a Quest that really doesn't need to have a console to hook up to.
Yeah, well, I mean, more like, your
Vive,
right?
HTC Vive,
or your Index, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
No, like the quality of what you're getting is high end on this, but the thing is, it's only tied to like a PlayStation, right? And then that's going to limit your library.
Yes.
And on top of that, one of the biggest issues I see, I mean, like, first, the price, I mean, of course, I think is absurd when you think about it compared to the PlayStation. But you look at the lineup of games that those 11 games are released, I mean, pretty much all of them are games that are already out on other platforms or are coming out on other platforms, right? There's nothing exclusive. The only exclusive that I know of really is the Horizon, the first party thing.
And the other game, what is it? The Dark Pictures. There's a Dark Pictures game. It's supposed to be some type of...
Is that exclusive?
Yes.
I doubt it.
They
don't make exclusives anymore. So,
well, it's exclusive right now.
Yeah, right now.
A year or two from now.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
Plus that looked like the same shoot that the other one was.
Yeah.
What was it? It was like some weird like roller coaster thing that they had for the VR. So yeah, I mean, like these games aren't super compelling. This library isn't super compelling, and you can just get a Quest for much less money and play pretty much all of these games and a lot more because that platform has a lot of games on it available.
Yeah.
So this thing, like honestly, I don't understand how they think this is going to be a success. And I kind of don't think they do think it's going to be a success. I think that in my opinion, I think Sony knows that like they took the gamble and it's not going to work out. And they probably decided like, we're going to charge above cost. However, like, I feel like they're like probably slightly above cost. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
They don't want to take a
making
loss
$10
on it.
$10 a unit kind of thing.
yeah,
You're
something
at least
like
making
that.
profit, but you're not eating like making a ton.
So
Yeah.
Burley, you were quoted during the morning show as saying this is quote dead on arrival end quote. Do you still stick with that?
Oh yeah, because like the pricing, let's not even involve Canada in the pricing. Let's just go with the US pricing, just to make it easy. On the US, you're going to spend over $1,000 to get the PS5 and this.
Yeah, over $1,000.
And then you got to buy games for it. Like if this, I said on the morning show, if this would have at least had PS1 VR backwards compatibility, it would have more people interested and willing to pay that price. Because like for me, I never had a PSVR 1. And this would have been, okay, I get best of both worlds. I get both PSVR 1 and PSVR 2. Okay, I got to pay a little bit more than I want, but at least I get both. And like Sony has given out VR games for free from time to time. I would have bought it. I would have had, I think I have like 5 or 6 VR games. Okay, I at least have a small library to go change to and go through and try. With this, I don't. With this, I have to buy Horizon because that's the one I want.
Yeah,
because I do want to try that Horizon game, but other than that,
which is 20 minutes long.
It's gonna be more than 20 minutes, but
okay, 21 and a half minutes.
30 minutes.
25.
But like, yeah, you're gonna. The thing is like the Horizon one. But I'm not going to want to spend all that money to play the Horizon and then hope. Like they didn't even with the 11 games they showed off. You know what was one of the big ones for PSVR that they didn't even show off for this? Resident Evil. Resident Evil 7 VR was huge.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 8 VR. You couldn't have done that for around the launch.
Yeah,
or just
not
say
backwards
that's
compatible. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's like so. It's I meant like you could have just put Village VR.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not coming anytime soon for it or at all, kind of thing. Because I forget where they stand on that, and it's like so. They're if I'm looking at this VR, I think Carl's right on this that they're just setting it out to die. They're making a profit on each unit, and it's just, hey, we're sending it out, and that's it. I think Sony just wants to get out of VR badly. Just send this out so when PSVR 2 dies and it doesn't do well, they can say, hey, we tried. We did it. It's done.
Well, Sony is now saying that there's 25 million PS5s in the wild. So of those 25 million, owners, how many of those are going to buy a VR 2? I mean, what, 1 million?
Maybe, yeah.
No, not even 1 million. I would put the number under 25,000.
Wow.
Oh my god, that's painful.
Well,
that definitely means dead on arrival, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you said, this is a damn luxury item. And so many people, I knew people that were excited about PSVR 2 and were hoping the rumors were wrong, that there was going to be no backwards, that the backwards compatibility rumors were wrong. And when they realized, no, that's right, it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to spend the money. And like VR is still a niche. VR is still a niche. Yeah. To me, I was just like, if I would have got both sets of games, okay, it makes it easier for me to go in and try it and do it. But it's like VR from the little kiosks that I've played this stuff at, never been like, I need to buy this and get this. It's like, no, I don't. I don't care. VR's way too early. This stuff's all way too early. We want to get it when it's wireless and you don't need as much and the things aren't as bulky.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
stuff's
the thing is, you can't make this wireless, right? Because
Yeah.
it would then be, be like the Quest Pro, which is like $1,500.
Oh yeah.
Because you'd have to have a PS5 like bolted to your head, because that's like the guts of it, right? That's what makes it work. It's the PS5.
It wasn't like Quest Pro, like you have an hour, if that, for battery.
I don't see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know what the specs are on the Quest Pro. Like, does the Quest Pro have much better performance than the Quest 2?
It does have better performance.
Assume, right?
Like I looked it up a while back, but it's like, for what you're paying and what you're getting, nowhere near. This is all niche, and like as Expat said, this is all rich people hobby and to show off crap. So this is why I say the number of under 25,000.
Well, let us know how
many people are going to buy it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you already own a PS5. Are you interested in purchasing, or are you going to purchase a PSVR 2? Let us know in the comments. And if you're going to buy a PS5, are you going to also get a PSVR 2? Let us know in the comments. And what do you think of the game lineup that's coming to it? So let us know. We really would like to hear from you on that. So.
If you remember PSVR, it didn't sell well when it first launched, and it wasn't until they dropped the price dramatically that people started to like, oh, I'll give this a shot. And I think that is where, if you look at this price and then you consider that history and consider what they got out of PSVR, which I think was a okay experience at best. There's some good stuff, but I think overall there wasn't a lot of great stuff. No. I think a lot of people who were willing to try it before are going to be like, nah, I'm just going to pass this time.
And the lineup that they had, the lineup that they had in the games that they had were not very long, So I mean, then that's VR. I think as a problem as a whole is that like how many people want to be in this wear this helmet for 3-4 hours straight, the type of gaming that like us gamers do, right? I put 30 hours into Persona 5 Royal. I'm trying to play it like every day. Maybe I'll play 2 hours at night if I can at most. In my life, but some people would, might play 8 hours of a game in a day. Like, are people really doing that with VR? Yeah.
Do they want to, right? Do you really want to isolate yourself that much? Like, be tethered to something?
Yeah.
Well, even if you aren't tethered.
Not to mention, for VR, you got to set up a giant space. You can't just sit on the couch so easily with like VR. Right. You got to set up all this and have the room so that way when you're moving your hands and all that, you don't hit anything and all that. Whereas if I'm sitting on the couch with my DualSense, my Xbox controller, or whatever console I'm on, I can just sit and play and not have to worry about something on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation in itself. I mean, the social aspects of it all, and of course the physical aspects of having the headset, attached to your face for hours on end. I mean, that's
This is gonna be the Vita again. That's what it's gonna be. Good hardware, but first party support is gonna dry up quickly because the sales aren't gonna be there. And third-party support will be there just because, hey, it's a platform we can throw some games on.
Yeah,
that we've already made, right? It's not going to, I feel like there's going to be few and far between like PSVR 2 exclusives beyond, your first-party stuff. Like, because at a certain point, Sony isn't like, why are we going to pay good money for an exclusive on this thing that nobody's buying? That you can't sell the software to make the money because there's not enough units out there.
Yeah. Okay,
Well-
let's move on. Let's go ahead and move on, guys. We got to move on here. So, speaking of games, that a game that is definitely probably going to be bought by the majority of PlayStation users, and already it's it's being talked about as being Game of the Year already. Of course, God of War
Sonic
Ragnarok.
Frontiers.
Yeah,
Stray?
right. Yeah. God of War Ragnarok, and obviously we're going to talk about the reviews.
Boy.
But first, we're going to talk about the graphics modes. So, of course, I'm going to put the link for you all of you video viewers from IGN. You can go check that out, and I will show the image for the graphic modes as well as we talk about them. So, what's interesting about this is I've seen some reports of people playing this game on a base PS4, and it almost literally fries the system. I mean, it sounds even louder than a jet engine in a sense.
So it's
Yeah.
like when you're playing Ghost of Tsushima on a base PS4, where you can tell the fans working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it's working all right. Yeah, like in maximum overdrive. So anyway, let me go ahead and show you the modes here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. So the graphics modes there. So you got the PS5 and the PS4 modes. Obviously, Burley and we have a PS5, and we talked about this. I'm going to try to play this in the favor performance mode. So you'll get between 1440 and 2160p and 60 frames per second as a target. Whereas if you play it in performance plus high frame rate, the 60 frames per second is unlocked. But Burley, you were saying, right, that they are saying that you're supposed to be able to possibly get up to 120 frames per second.
Yeah, they had made that statement. I think it was like late to mid last month.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows where? Like for me, I'm gonna definitely try the favor quality when I have this on my 4K television, because I want to see this game in the native 4K.
Yeah, 2160p. Yeah. So
I always do it just to see how it is
at 30 frames per second, though. Yeah. So.
And as I
some
said,
weird
in the
stuff
30
on there.
versus
Yeah,
60, if the game runs well, 30 is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. Carl, your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird. There's just like a lot of choices and options, and that's. I guess the performance HFR plus VRR is where you're gonna get the 120.
Okay. Yeah.
It says unlock 60. That's also weird. Like PS4 has a performance that says unlock 30 that can go up to 1656p. I'm like, well, how's that gonna run unlocked 30? Like, just give me 30. Just give me stable 30. Like, I probably just.
Well, that's the Pro. If you're on the Pro, you need to be on the PS4 Pro.
Oh, that's the Pro performance. Got it. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And versus quality. Okay, so I forgot about the Pro. Yeah. And standard is 1080p 30. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot the Pro. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
So it's unlock 30. So like that's weird. I'm curious to see how that one runs. Like, does that stay at 60? And they're just like, we're gonna say unlock 30 because like it's not gonna be at 60 consistently.
Yeah. It's probably gonna fluctuate. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's fine. Like, you play 60 FPS, performance mode, like on PS5, you're gonna be happy, I'm sure.
Yeah. So anyway, those are the graphics modes. I'm sure most of you that are going to be playing this on PS5 will probably be trying the favor performance or favor performance plus HFR. So, yeah. And let us know before you go on, Carl. I was just going to say, let us know in the comments if you're going to play this in on a PS4. Let us know how it runs once you do get it and start playing it. We'd really like to hear from you in the comments. And what mode are you going to initially try the game in? Let us know in the comments. Carl, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I have a PS4. That's where I'll play it. Yeah, like my 1080p. No, the first game looked amazing and played great on PS4. So like, I wouldn't be against playing it on my PS4 actually. Yeah. If I get the time, I want to. I was gonna say there's that IGN poll that I put out on Twitter, which I thought was interesting, where they asked what platform you're gonna play this on, and like 75% was like, or close to 70, it was 70-something%.
Yeah,
That was like PS5.
Mhm.
And you know, that says a lot about like where gamers are at right now. Like if you're into the hobby, right? You have a PS5. You're already moved on. Like I don't think there's gonna be a ton of people playing this on last gen. Like because even though it's a very popular game and it's gonna sell well, I think it's still not like your casual game, right?
Yeah. I'm interested to see the sales figures when it comes to PS5 sales and PS4 sales of this game as the months progress, and of course we'll be bringing that to you. But I think majority of people that have moved on, they'll play it on their PS5. I know Burley is. I know I will.
Well,
Carl,
I'm
you still don't have a PS5 yet, but you're going to probably play it on the PS4 that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
kind of don't.
yeah.
I almost, like as I said before, like I kind of don't want to play any of these games until I get a PS5, just because
Yeah.
I'd prefer to play it on the better version, knowing it's out there.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm gonna still try it. Like I still have my base PS4.
Mhm.
I want to try it on the base PS4 because I got to see if this thing's gonna rear up more than Ghost, and
But how do you
see
do
how
that?
it does.
You have to pay extra to get both
No,
versions.
no, because I got the collector's edition. You get digital PS4 and PS5.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Wait, so you did pay
Yeah,
extra, technically.
no. Here's the thing: in Canada,
Yeah.
both the PS4 and the PS5 version are the same price. But you
But you bought the
both.
collector's edition, so you paid extra for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
That
let's
I
go
did.
ahead.
This
Let's
is
go ahead
an
and
expensive game for me.
okay, let's go ahead and move on, guys. So we're going to talk now about the review roundup. So I'll put the link for you here, and we talked about this on the morning show as well, but we're going to talk about it just a little bit more here from the GameSpot article. So there is the link for you for all of you video viewers here.
Yeah.
So this game has been getting pretty much, 10 out of 10s, 5s out of 5s. It's up there. It's basically become the highest rated game pre-release this year. And of course, the second highest rated game was Elden Ring. So it seems like one of these two games, as I mentioned before, is going to win Game of the Year. It's either going to be God of War Ragnarok or Elden Ring. So it's like a toss up. Which is it going to be? Flip a coin. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's good stuff. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the trailer here as I read a little bit of the reviews. So one of them that I didn't read, I don't think I read this one on the morning show, but MMORPG gave it a 10 out of 10. God of War Ragnarok is, simply put, the complete package. It tells one of the best stories in video games, one that will have you run the gamut of emotions while playing through it. I would kind of question whether or not it's going to be better than The Last of Us or The Last of Us Part 2, but that's another story. Fighting the enemies of the realms
It's not hard to be better than Last of Us Part 2. What?
Fighting the enemies of the realms feels a lot like the previous game, but there's enough new and refined elements to help it stand on its own. That was from Jason Finelli over at MMORPG. And then on Game Informer, they gave it a 95 out of 100. So from Kyle Hilliard, quote, God of War Ragnarok feels a lot like God of War 2018, which is a compliment considering how fantastic that game is. Sony Santa Monica was right to not break what wasn't broken and has expertly continued the story threads that were left hanging from the previous game. So, like, any complaints about the overall experience, familiar combat, collecting and leveling up equipment isn't particularly interesting, are quickly forgotten in the face of the compelling narrative, believable character relationships, and incredible visuals and animation. So, yeah, I mean, just a lot of really, really good reviews, obviously. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this going to be Game of the Year?
Well, I mean, as expected, when you have these great games like The Last of Us, as Burley said, you the sequel is expected to be just as good, and it will likely be just as good. In the case of The Last of Us, it was, and in the case of this, I expect it will be.
Yeah. Burley? Yeah.
I agree with mostly of what Carl said. Yeah, I know from what we've seen and heard of this game, there I think this is damn like they said in some of those reviews. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 2018 was just such a great game. It elevated God of War to me because I did like the previous God of War games, but I never thought they were anything more than just because like I would always buy them when they were on sale. Okay, your cheap action game, and just have like 4 or 5 hours and I'm done. This just showed like it had a great story, great storytelling, and the weapons weren't just I use them to kill different enemies. No, you use them for the puzzle solving and all that, and I liked exploring the different realms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you're giving me more of this, and I'm really interested to see where the story goes because the ending was such an interesting ending for God of War.
Mhm.
And I've heard from Ragnarok they improved. One of the things I didn't like as much in the first game is they've added more bosses and they're better bosses and more cinematic. Because that was a thing with in 2018. That was the one thing it just didn't take from the original. Because that was the thing. The original God of War games had cinematic, awesome boss fights. 2018 didn't really have that other than like the last boss fight.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, remember the dragon fight being like the cool cinematic, classic God
that
of
was
War.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, like battle. And then I remember the like you fight those two brothers, and I'm like, this just feels like I'm fighting.
Sons.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just fighting two regular enemies right now. Like this didn't feel like a boss battle.
Just in this game, give me the Thor battle. I mean, I'm so excited I'm so excited for that fight. Yeah, between Kratos and Thor. Yeah.
The real question is Kratos going to be worthy?
Yeah, will he be worthy?
I'm not sure that's part of the normal mythology. I think it's an MCU thing. So.
Yeah.
Because it's an enchantment Odin did, but
yeah.
God damn it! Even if you don't get to keep Mjolnir, I
think you will.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably will.
I honestly think I would predict he's probably going to kill Thor at some point and take that hammer. But
oh yeah, and I can't. Yeah. I you got to give me one seed with him just picking up the hammer and having the lightning go in the background, like
okay, it just makes sense, right? Like his weapon already is the equivalent, so like you got to give him like. Yeah.
Well, he's got fire. He's got ice. He needs lightning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His lightning weapon.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the topic of the show because obviously, God of War is one of the, the big games in November. We have some other ones to talk about as well, and we'll go through God of War again. But so one of the games that's coming, of course, and Burley's going to be playing it is Sonic Frontiers. Burley, what do you think of this game? It's coming out on November 8th, so very soon. Actually, it's coming out on Tuesday next week. So what do you think, man? Sonic Frontiers.
I'm excited. I know there's some stuff in here that I've seen that I'm not exactly. I'm not exactly thrilled, but you know what? Mm-hmm. They are doing something different with the Sonic franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as I've said in the past of, okay, just stop doing 3D, just make every couple of years, make a new, basically Mania, a new little 2D game, get Christian Whitehead and his team and do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying stuff and like the running around in the open world. It can be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's little things they've shown, like the little challenges to do get the Chaos Emeralds and stuff like that. So I'm hopeful for this game. Mm-hmm. There is the rumor if this game does not do well, Sega is no longer Sonic Team is no longer going to be doing Sonic games, and they're going to give it to other developers.
Interesting.
They'll go make Shining Force, right? Sonic Team.
Yeah. Yeah, if Sonic fails, Shining Force comes back. That's how it works, girl.
I mean, if that's the trade-off, and like, sorry, Sonic, just die a horrible death, please. Like, this game needs to be like, get a bunch of like 1s out of 10s then.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, look at this trailer, and I'm like, all right, like, I don't know. When I see the stuff that's not the open world, it looks better. But I feel like the open world looks really bad.
Yeah, no, and hey, I get that. Like, I'm not as huge on the open world stuff because I've said, like, I'm getting tired. Really, and you'll hear it when I do Gotham Knights. Really freaking tired of open worlds because a lot of them suck. At least in Sonic's case, I can boost around the open world pretty quick.
Yeah. So, obviously, we talked about God of War. It comes out the day after. So, Sonic Frontiers, for all of you PlayStation players out there, probably Sonic Frontiers is going to be put on the back burner because of God of War Ragnarok. But yeah, so we talked about God of War Ragnarok. So, I kind of want to move on here in our topic of the show. Obviously, another game that's close to Burley's heart. Carl, I think you know which one that is, and it's coming on November 18th, and it's going to be a very, very big one, I think, worldwide, and that's, of course, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, yeah, what do you guys think for this game? Do you think this game could be, of all the games coming out in November, will this be the biggest seller?
Yes.
It potentially can. And this one is a really interesting case because we as Pokemon fans, this will be the second major release we've had this year because we had Legends Arceus in January, and Legends Arceus was mixed with the fan base. The trailers have looked good, and it's actually shocking that this is the first Pokemon game where we're 13 days out from late release. We still don't have the second evolution or the final evolutions of the starter. By now, we would have all that leaked and a bunch of more Pokemon. So this one hasn't been leaked as much.
Yeah.
This one has the potential, but it all really depends on the quality because this is also, remember, this is coming on the Switch, and some of the time with some of the last couple of Pokemon games haven't run the greatest on the Switch. So the Switch is showing its age and all that. Yeah, these look nice here on the trailer. Let's see when we're actually playing the game.
Yeah, but when has that ever stopped Switch owners, especially
True.
Pokemon fans, right? Like,
Oh,
this game,
I'm a
matter.
Look, at times this game looks awful, right? Like, visually speaking.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will perform okay.
It's a typical Nintendo game,
Yeah.
So
but
when
like,
it comes to visuals,
yeah, that going in, like, no one's gonna buy this game saying like, I expect cutting edge visuals and 60 frames per second.
I thought I was getting 8K graphics on here.
Yeah, right.
120
4K
frames.
60. I mean, the thing is, what's funny is that you put this on PS5 and Series X, it's running 4K 60.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, this game's gonna be a monster hit. It's Pokemon's always a big hit.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a cool one. I mean, it looks like a good one. I'm sort of like, I feel like Arceus almost was like wet people's palate, and it was so long ago now. It was like January or February.
It was January. It was January. Late January. It was like the 25th or something.
God, can you believe that, guys? Man, time has just flown by so fast this year. I mean, I still remember like January when we were talking about that game. So.
Yeah, so I do really feel that people were like, "Oh man, like Arceus was pretty good, but like I need my fix," and like here it is,
Yeah.
Like I'm playing this day one. I actually, you guys will be the first to know of this. I just ordered some supplies for this game for when I stream it.
So
and
I asked a lot of my students out here in Japan. I asked them, which one of these are they going to get, Scarlet or Violet? Which one do you think they chose?
Scarlet.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know the-
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
The majority of them, 7 out of 10 are going to get Scarlet first. But the majority of them are going to play both of them. So, yeah.
See, I have Violet
Mm-hmm.
because one of my friends went Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying both. I stopped buying both versions a long time ago because online trading and friends exist.
Yeah.
And as I've grown older, I less and less care about completing the decks. I start for a while and then I just I get bored and be like, hey, I can play 10 other games.
There you go, Carl. There's your turn base. Yeah.
I mean, it is. I guess I'd have to say this is the most successful turn-based RPG franchise ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just Pokemon prints money. I'm really excited. I've actually bought some card packs to do little openings on the stream.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the reason why I still like these games, and I would want. I want to play this. I know I'm not gonna, but maybe at some point I could, because I did play Sword and Shield. I did get that one.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised to me that nobody has really tried to copy this. There's been the lower budget straight up copies, but there's no one let's take the idea what makes Pokemon so unique and make something else another big AAA franchise that does that similarly. That's not on Nintendo, right?
Well, there have been, like you said, there have been copies. I've tried the Neximon games. They're good. They're like you said, they're budget Pokemon. But one of the ones that I liked that I got in on early was Temtem, and it was I forget. I think it's a Swedish developer. I can't remember which country, but it does something unique because it is an MMO. And you can play it on the Switch or any platform. And the thing is just it has co-op, it has and it actually makes the battling a little bit different, where all your moves cost energy, and the more you level up, the more energy, and you can swap your moves back and forth all the time. It really makes it makes the battling a lot more harder, because that's the thing, Pokemon, if you know how to type advantage, going through the story is easy, and it's especially as it's gotten easier as the game's gone, because now they show you super effective, weak, normal damage.
Yeah. I guess Persona is sort of like a Pokemon in a lot of ways. It's just better. It's a better Pokemon, right? It's just better.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for a different niche. Yeah, so
it's Pokemon with a real story.
Oh, yeah, now a certain person I know what I'm gonna, because that I know is a giant Persona fan. That's how I'm gonna say, you're just playing better Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay, let me run through the list of the releases for November. So, for example, we have It Takes Two, which is coming to the Switch, which is already out. It came out on the 4th. So yesterday, A Little to the Left. So that game is coming out on the 8th. Some others, of course, Sonic Frontiers on the 8th. We talked about that. Football Manager 23, and we're going to show the video later. That's coming to Game Pass, and we'll see some of that. That comes out on the 8th as well. God of War Ragnarok, we already talked about on the 9th. Tactics Ogre Reborn coming out on the 11th, and of course, if you're new to the channel, obviously here on the Arena Productions, we do some shorts videos, and the latest shorts video that I uploaded was a mural at my local Japanese electronics store for Tactics Ogre Reborn, which is coming out on the 11th. So go and check that out. Pentiment, which is coming out on the 15th, and we're going to show that video, of course, when we go over the Game Pass games. Floodland.
Pentiment looks good.
Pentiment looks good. Yeah, for sure. Floodland comes out on November 15th. And Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 comes out on November 16th. And
but you missed Somerville.
I'm gonna be talking about that as well. Oh. So that's I think part of the lineup for Game Pass.
It is, yeah. The reason I say it because I remember the date, because I was like, why did Somerville is November 15th, and Pentiment's November 15th, and both of them are day one Game Pass. I'm like, both of them are like that sort of shorter artistic experience. And like, I know they're definitely different games, but I'm like, oh, why you gotta do this to me? Like, I want to play both of those games. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna, I'm still playing Persona 5, but like, even if I wasn't, I'd be like, man, I gotta play both of these games. Like, how am I gonna do both of these games same day?
Yeah. And with Call of Duty, there was, of course, the news that came out over the first 3 days. I think it sold like over 850,000 copies or something like that. So in like its first 3 days. Goat Simulator 3 comes out on the 17th. So if you're into these simulation games, Goat Simulator 3. And then, of course, we talked about Scarlet and Violet for Pokemon on the 18th. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, of course, on PC on November 18th. So that's coming out. And the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me, is coming out on November 18th, which is interesting. I thought it would have come out during the Halloween season, but I guess they needed another month to get it ready. So
still going strong with that franchise. Huh?
Yeah, Evil West coming out on November 22nd.
Oh, that one looks cool.
Yeah. Gungrave Gore, which we're going to be showing in the Game Pass list, comes out on the 22nd. Yeah. So, and then we also have, I can bring it up here, World of Warcraft Dragonflight, which comes out on November 28th. So, and then Warhammer 40,000 Darktide on the 30th, which rounds out the list. So, yeah. So lots of good stuff coming out, but
PC only on the Darktide.
Yeah, PC only.
They delayed the Xbox version. They're like, nah, screw you, Xbox guys. You guys suck.
well, that's the trend in the industry right now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
apparently, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the list. But obviously, I think of most of those games, the big three that are on the majority of people's radars are God of War Ragnarok, especially PlayStation players. And then, of course, for people on Nintendo, Pokemon. And then, of course, Sonic. Sonic is one of them that, could be a dark horse this month. So I don't know.
For the fans of Balan Wonderland, you got Sonic.
Yeah.
There are no fans of Balan Wonderland. That was
that game is so heavily discounted, man. It's like less than 1,000 yen.
It's one of the worst looking games I've ever seen. And when you hear people talk about how it plays, oh my god, it sounds.
They were. I don't know if it was happening over here, but I heard and saw online posts at one time. GameStops were trying to just give them away to people when they were coming in and buying stuff. Be like, here you go. Here's our promotion. Here's Balan Wonderland, and like one guy's like, because I saw the one thing is like, no thanks, I don't want your trash.
It's like, how many? He's like, oh, here, take however many you want. Give them to your friends.
Well, like it's funny because there's like if you go into GameStops, that there's so many games like they were still. I went in there a few weeks back, got something, and they're still trying to sell Overwatch copies. And it's like, these are just coasters, right? Overwatch 1 discs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What was the other game that they were doing that with? The Babylon's Fall.
Babylon Fall.
Right? They were selling it for like $1.
Oh,
please take it.
Yeah. Okay, so that was our topic of the show. So now we're going to move on and give our picks of the week, of course, for the week of November 7th through the 13th. And I will go first. And obviously, we've talked about this game the majority of the podcast so far on this episode. So, of course, God of War Ragnarok is my pick of the week. Yeah. So, from Santa Monica Studio comes the sequel to the critically acclaimed God of War 2018. Kratos and Atreus must journey to each of the 9 realms in search of answers as they prepare for the prophesized battle that will end the world. Together, Kratos and Atreus venture deep into the 9 realms in search of answers as Asgardian forces prepare for war. Along the way, they will explore stunning, mythical landscapes, gather allies from across the realms, and face fearsome enemies in the form of Norse gods and monsters. As the threat of Ragnarok grows ever closer, Kratos and Atreus find themselves choosing between the safety of their family and the safety of the realms. So it comes out on PS4 and PS5 on Wednesday, November 9th. So yeah, I mean, that's the big one, guys. I mean, yeah, for this coming week, I can't wait to start playing this. Like I said, I'm going to play it on PS5, and I'm really excited to face Thor, you know, and it'll be interesting to see more of Atreus's story as well in this game. I mean, because you know, the Loki aspect of things. I mean, how that plays out here. I'm really interested to get into the depth of the story on that, as well as more of, you know, Kratos's story. So yeah, I'm excited for it, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a game I cannot wait for, and it sucks because I ordered the collector's edition. I have also ordered the controller. I have a problem. The collector's edition, Amazon is saying probably won't come till the Friday, so it's like I won't even have any time when we go to record next week. I won't even have had any time. It's like I'm tempted. It's like, do I buy it digitally earlier? And I'm like, no, I have to finish Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah. So the link below for releases.com, where you can find all of the releases coming the month of November. You can check it out there. So for all of you video viewers, go check that out. So yeah, I love how that just changes and then it turns to night. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, so all the 9 realms. So yeah, and what it's like a big gigantic jellyfish there. It's like in the air. There it is. Good old Thor. Yes. Yeah.
So at what point do we think the Immigrant Song is going to be playing in this?
I don't know, man, but yeah, it looks great. So I'm really excited for it. So, all right, Carl, you're up next. What do we got? What's your pick of the week?
We have Return to Monkey Island. Return to Monkey Island is an unexpected, thrilling return of series creator Ron Gilbert that continues the story of the legendary adventure games. And that's all it says, man.
They didn't actually even give any.
They didn't give any other kind of description or anything.
Yeah, join Guybrush Threepwood on his further adventures against the dread pirate LeChuck. You know,
LeChuck. I was gonna say, is LeChuck back?
I mean, that's him, right? He's right there. This is the coming on. I didn't get the date on Tuesday, November 8th to Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5. This is the true release date of the game. I know it previously wasn't on some other stupid platforms, but now it's on like the real platforms, right, guys?
Yes.
No.
What real platforms are you referring to, Carl?
Xbox and PlayStation. Those are the real platforms, right? Okay. I guess PC is a real platform. Switch is, I'm joking.
Well, now that the Steam Deck's a thing, yes, it's a real platform.
Yeah.
And this is day one on Game Pass.
Cool.
You know, it's funny. The reason I make these jokes is because like they announced this game and they're like, oh, it's coming just to Switch and PC, and they didn't say anything else. And then like, what is it? It's not that long. It's been like a month or so, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's.
And
been
on the trailer here, I have to apologize to all you out there. I mean, there weren't many trailers to pick from this, and this trailer only shows PS5. So yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah,
no, it's fine. That's probably from PlayStation website.
Yeah,
or YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that's funny is that like they didn't tell you, like we can't say maybe, and then like a month or so later, it's like here it is coming to PlayStation and Xbox. Like what the hell is that about? Don't do that stuff. It's really weird and annoying. And honestly, I think most people are probably going to play this on Game Pass. Like it'll probably get its best exposure on Game Pass because it's kind of that type of game that like a lot of people just would want to try and not necessarily buy it right away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Burley, you're up next. What do you got for our for your pick of the week, I should say? And obviously, we discussed this game just a bit previously here. Yeah. What do you have for us?
Alrighty, my pick of the week is Sonic Frontiers. Worlds will collide in the Sonic's newest adventure. An experience like never before. Accelerate to new heights and experience the thrill of high velocity open zone freedom. Battle
High velocity
powerful
for
enemies.
sure. Yeah.
Powerful enemies as you speed through the Starfall Islands landscapes, bringing with dense forest, overflowing waterfalls, sizzling deserts, and more. Journey into new realms. It's coming Tuesday, November 8th to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. For the love of God, if you've seen this running on the Switch, do not buy this on the Switch. Get it on a PS4, Xbox One. Don't get it on the Switch.
Okay. Yeah. All righty. Okay. All right. So those are our picks of the week for this week. So next up, of course, Burley, we have some games for PlayStation Plus Essential that are out. So what do we have this month for PlayStation Plus Essential?
Already, we got Neo 2 for PS4, PS5.
Yeah, not Noah, but Neo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to bring that up because during
Yeah,
the morning
I
show,
knew you
Noah.
did.
What was Noah? Yeah, Neo, of course. Yeah.
Harry Potter Collection, the Lego Harry Potter Collection for PS4, as well as Heavenly Bodies for PS4, PS5. And that is now out, so you can grab them now.
Yeah.
The Lego games, I will definitely download and play those at some time because I do love those little Lego games. They're fun to just sit and play. Heavenly Bodies, I'm interested to check out and try. Neo, I don't know if I want to start one of these because I've heard how hard they're hard.
Carl, have you ever played Neo? Did you play Neo or?
No. I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah.
It makes me think of Onimusha, even though I know it's not that type of game.
Yeah.
I want an Onimusha back.
It's kind of a Dark Souls type of Ghost of Tsushima as a Dark Souls game, basically.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of like a straight action sort of version of that.
Yeah. And then, of course, here we have the Lego Harry Potter stuff. Yeah. So. Isn't Hogwarts Legacy is supposed to be coming out like in January, right? I think it is.
I think isn't it February?
January or February, I don't remember, but
let me just look this up.
Isn't it March? No, I don't check. It's next year.
February 10th.
Yeah. Well, Forspoken is coming in, I think, February as well. So for for PlayStation.
Forspoken, the game I hope is good, but
yeah, we'll see.
I'm not putting my money down on that.
Yeah, I watched the recent like gameplay video of it, like sort of overview of like your powers and stuff. I mean, I think it looks like a fun game. Like it looks like it's gonna play well. But man, they're referring to that like your cuff as cuff. They're like, oh, a cuff can do this, and I'm like, never say that. Please never say that. It's not too late. You got months. You can change it. You don't have to call it that.
This game looks pretty cool here. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That looks like a cool indie.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
It's got some decent stuff.
Yeah. So.
I think now is which are. That's it.
Hold on, Carl.
The two games that who knows what they are.
Well, Carl, before you do that, let's go through the Game Pass games first. Yeah. Yeah. So talk about it. Go for it, man.
Forget the rest. How do I? Okay. Am I sound fine here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. We have available now The Legend of Tien Ding.
Mm-hmm.
We have The Walking Dead: New Frontier the complete season. That's PC only. Walking Dead Michonne, the complete season, PC only. Then out now as well from Ghost Song, which is a day one Game Pass game. Then we have Football Manager 23 on November 8th. PC, day one Game Pass game. And then I guess, I don't know why there's two separate entries. Sorry. There's Football Manager 23 console version. I don't know why they separate these. They probably have different interfaces. That's also November 8th. And then we have Return to Monkey Island on November 8th. Vampire Survivors, which got your console version now on November 10th. That was previously PC Game Pass. And then we have Pentiment, November 15th. That is your first party Xbox game. They're one of their few from Obsidian. Nice little smaller game. Day one there. Then Somerville also on November 15th. No cloud on that one for some reason. Day one Game Pass there. And Somerville is interesting that's one of the people who worked on one of the main people from Limbo inside that studio. Now that's their new studio, Jump Ship. So we'll see how that works out. It could be another good one.
So this from the video here, I just want to mention the Tianding here reminds me a lot of kind of like the late 19th century, the Japanese occupations of Taiwan, and then of course in the early 20th century there, of course, occupations of China in parts of China. But and it looked like it had some very manga style pictures to them as well. So
here's Ghost Song, which is your Metroidvania. If you're looking at this video, if you're watching along with us, is very Metroidvania. It looks just like Metroid.
Just did that. It basically just did the not the space jump, but you know what I mean. Just in the video there.
Yeah. And honestly, now that I'm finally watching this, I'm like, I kind of want to play this. You see, this game got good reviews. Like I looked into like Tianding and Ghost Hunt. This is why this month is so far so great for games. Because the games already reviewed, which and Vampire Survivors all have really good reviews already.
Yeah.
All recent.
Look really solid. Yeah.
Not for me, but that's a big franchise to love. When you got Somerville and they want anticipated, smaller titles. I mean, this is only the first half of this month. I mean, like, there's so many games on here that are just definitely worth playing.
Oh yeah, very Metroid style. Yeah.
You have like full trail of all of these, and it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, well, let's talk about them. Let's comment on them. So, it's good stuff. Yeah. So next up, we've got
the Walking Dead stuff is just like I'm not interested
What
in.
is it? What is this one even? What is this? I don't know this trailer is.
You don't know what this you haven't seen it before?
No.
Okay.
There's live action in it. What? There's people. There's real people.
Yeah.
She got an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
It's more than history. It's your story.
Yeah. Humankind. How far will you push?
It's
already out now.
Why isn't that not listed? It's like that wasn't listed.
It's not
Maybe
listed
that was in between.
because it's Sega, and they don't want to show off Sega.
Yeah.
And
here's the Football Manager. So Football Manager coming up next. Yeah. So
Football Manager, exciting stuff, guys.
So kind of a watered down version of FIFA, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's you're doing the managing of the team. It's the focus is on that, not playing the games.
Right. Yeah.
Which, I mean, why would you want to play soccer? It's such a dull game.
Ooh. Some of our viewers aren't going to like that comment, Carl. Yeah.
Probably not, but you know what?
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, for you.
I mean,
yeah.
look, baseball's boring too. Okay, so score some goals, man.
all I'll say on that is insert the certain Simpsons scene from the soccer episode. You'll know exactly what anyone that's a Simpsons fan will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another
Sega game there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go, Carl Pentiment. Yeah.
So I watched one of the interviews with the developers on this, and one of the things that's really interesting if you're watching along, the font that they use and the way that they draw it in, right, as the text comes along. They talked about how they put there's a lot of research and design into the font, and how like when it's being drawn in an aspect of like how you would actually sort of write it in some ways. And there's a lot of actually different font choices. And one of the things that like they have the fancy fonts, but they also have like simplified fonts in case those are too difficult for you to read. But yeah, the fonts do a lot. Like there's like different fonts for different times, for like depending on certain things in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like the fonts are based on Latin. Yeah. So. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that game really plays out, because the art style is unique, of course, and it's from Obsidian, who's a great studio. They know what they're doing, especially when it comes to story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And next up here is that one. I think it's called Guns. What is it again, Carl? Guns. Gore something.
I don't know. This wasn't even on the list here. So I don't. I guess we got secret extra Game Pass games.
Yeah, must be.
So secret, Carl doesn't even know, even though he's been meeting with Phil.
I know. I mean, I don't know what happened, man.
Phil's not telling you everything.
Yeah.
I feel like these were like announced last time, or they're like in between announcements, because sometimes they fall like at a point where they like late in the month after they've done the announcement. Oh wow, that dude.
Yeah, it didn't end well for that guy. Yeah. So.
What else? Oh, while we're watching these, Sea of Thieves: Return of the Damned, November 3rd to November 17th is like a new limited adventure that's running from that date or something. And Halo Infinite's winter update is supposed to come on November 8th, which is going to bring
finally after a year after that game comes out, you can finally get an EXP the way you should have done.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, if that's the thing that bothers you, I don't.
See, it's easier to list what doesn't bother me on that game.
Seems like the character models are kind of like the Devil May Cry in a sense. Yeah. Interesting.
Whatever. Sniper Elite 5 has a up close and personal pack and free map. I'm just reading more stuff on this Game Pass thing here because we got this trailer going on. If you want to know what's leaving, sorry guys, if you wanted to keep playing Football Manager 2022 instead of 2023, you can't because it's gone on November 8th. They're going to force you to move on to the new game.
Oh, that's right, Gungrave. Okay, Gungrave. Okay, all right.
Gungrave Gore.
Art of Rally, Fate Tactics, Next Space Rebel, One Step from Eden, Superland, and Subnautica. So that's Subnautica, man.
Oh,
that's
nice.
sad. No, that's a good game.
Yeah. Okay, Carl. So sorry I kept you waiting so long. I know you were patiently waiting to get to Games with Gold.
Oh God, I gotta find that. It's so hard to find. There's so little people actually talk about this. Even Xbox. Yeah, they don't even have that on their website.
Okay, so these are the two games that are coming to Games with Gold. So, yeah. So what are they, Carl?
I can't even get this brought up. Praetorian's HD remaster. I'm looking at the picture here.
Yeah.
A dead end
Yeah.
job. Okay,
Right.
I can't
That's it.
put much effort into. I'm going to put as much effort into it as Microsoft put into picking games for this service.
Yeah. Okay. Only two games now. Yeah. So anyway, those are the two games.
It's
Well,
so
I think they did. Didn't they just take a dartboard with like games they haven't given and just throw darts? Not how they just
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that this service lasts beyond the year. I don't understand. It's such a bad value at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their goal. Like last time they tried, like we're gonna raise the price. We're gonna get rid of the yearly discounted rate, right? That's what they were trying to do, and everybody got pissed off.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we got to backtrack." They were trying to make it. They really were trying to push, and that was for new users only, right? If you had previously already subscribed, you could keep paying that lower rate for the year.
Yeah.
But they were really trying to push people, new users, to go directly to Game Pass instead of Xbox Live Gold. So I think maybe now their strategy is like, let's just make the value really, really bad, so that no one chooses it because it's so bad. They're like, why would you spend the equivalent of Xbox Game Pass price, like base Game Pass, a month, which this is equivalent in price.
Let us know in the comments if you think the Game Pass games live with gold are bad. Let us know in the comments. Let us know if you'll actually even play those games.
Yeah. Tell us the last time you played an Xbox Live Gold
game,
free game.
Free game.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it was Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Before that, I couldn't tell you.
December 2012.
Yeah.
Slime Rancher. I think Slime Rancher might have been one a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be playing this upcoming week. Obviously, I will be playing God of War Ragnarok, and I will continue on with A Plague Tale Requiem. So on the Xbox side. So Burley, how about you? What do you? I think you're similar. Yeah, you're going to be playing God of War Ragnarok, right? Yeah.
Well, Ghostbusters finished that.
Okay.
Sonic Frontiers. I'm hoping Amazon maybe comes in a little bit earlier for my God of War copy, because and hopefully play some Ragnarok early next week. But we shall see.
All right. And Carl, how about you?
Persona 5 Royal.
Continue on with that, huh?
Cool. All the time, every day. No, as much as I can. No, actually, I also think I might try to take a small break and jump into Return to Monkey Island.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good game. I could throw in there. It's. I'm sure it's not that long. I could probably get through it.
Cool.
They said it's an 80-hour adventure.
80. Oh my goodness. No.
Yeah.
And
Burley, I'm interested. Let me know as well, and we'll talk about this during the morning show as God of War Ragnarok comes out. And I'm interested to know, and for all of you PS5 players out there that are going to be playing on PS5, how does your PS5 handle God of War Ragnarok? Let us know in the comments as well. Yeah, is it going to sound like a jet engine? Or is it going to be a peaceful and quiet experience for you on your PS5 console? Let us know in the comments. So, all right. So it's time to talk about our indie recording artist spotlight to end the show. So this week's spotlight is on Novembers. So Novembers is a London-based music producer, multi-instrumentalist, creator, and curator. He draws inspiration from a wide variety of sources, including everything from Baroque music to R&B, rock, and hip-hop. From his album titled Last Train Home, and the song is called The Beat Detector. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 110. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. And of course, our morning show, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. in the UK. So we hope we catch you on the morning show as well. So take care, everyone. Peace out.